Hey everyone, my name is Monroe Man. Welcome to another episode of the Break Diving Powwow. What this is a motivational group chat that we do regularly here at Break Diving. You don't even need to just watch us on YouTube. You can actually join us and be a part of this awesome online community, the friendliest place on the internet. Come to breakdiving.io. We'll put the link in the information section here on YouTube. And not only to join the online community, but you can also join and be a part of these awesome live events with people from around the world. So we've got myself, Monroe. I'm in New York. Bhavya is in Jersey. Selena in California. Brighton is in South Africa. Merlin is in Denmark. Chioma is in Nigeria. And we have, I think, Ruth joining from, I believe is it Uganda, guys? Do you guys remember? Not sure. Well, when you figure that out, let me know, and we will also maybe hear from Ruth as well. It looks like she's trying to connect to audio. So basically what breakdiving is, we're an awesome worldwide not-for-profit community, and our mission is to make a better type of social media that actually helps people, inspires people, brings people together from around the world, and we're doing it. We're doing it now, and there's only one person missing, and that is you. So we hope that you will subscribe to the channel. We hope that you will follow us on Twitter. You hope you'll go to breakdiving.io and join us. And I got to say, usually on these calls, because of the lighting and whatnot, I usually use my computer camera. I don't look as good on my computer camera as I do on my iPhone camera. I'm just letting everybody know, iPhone camera makes you look twice as handsome. So for any of you who are feeling a little less confident today, you go and use your iPhone camera for your Zoom meetings, and everyone will be amazed with how attractive you are. So that's the lesson for today. Just kidding. So what we're going to talk about, we were talking about in the chat room, the one to three things that we're going to be doing this week, each of us, to be more productive, be more successful. And so I'd like to just go around and have everybody actually share those again, now that you had some time to think about it. So I'll start. First thing is I've started to do, for 20 years, I've wanted to sell covered calls on the internet, on the stock market. And for various reasons, I'll go over them some other time, I just never got into it, wasn't confident, didn't have enough money, didn't have this or that, didn't have the tools. I finally did it this week, and I made $15 with almost no risk of loss, and I'm so excited. I'm going to be doing it again. I can't wait till tomorrow morning at 9:30, and I'm going to sell another covered call, and I'm reading all of these books that I've had. Finally are making sense. I feel like, oh my gosh, this could be a brainstorm, so I'm excited about that. Number two is more coding study. The more I study coding, the better I'll be able to improve the break diving site, so I'm going to work hard on that. And what was the third thing that I mentioned? I don't even remember. I don't know. Those are two things that I'm going to be doing this week, and I'm just going to strive to be twice as productive this week as I was. Try to use, the reason I'm using my phone is because the Wi-Fi. I'll answer your question about what a covered call is in a second. Marilyn just asked. I am in the United States, first world country, supposedly most powerful in the world. I've been without internet for a week. And I finally found the Twitter for Optimum Online, which is our service provider. And it's not just our block here. It's almost every town in New York. It's people in Tuckahoe, people in Scarsdale. Everybody is out. And so I'm learning how to live without having access to my computer. That's why I'm using my phone, basically. Marilyn, were you saying something? No. Okay.
Yeah. Yes. Actually, I was asking. Obviously, you've got electricity because I've got friends over in Peekskill. They've had no electricity since Tuesday.
So at least my situation is a little bit better.
Yeah, because they can't even charge their phones. They've got no electricity.
I didn't have electricity for 3 hours because of the storm, and I was down to about 5% on my phone, so I went into my car and I just started driving around. listening to music while the phone charged. But it's very interesting, just like the fact that I was talking with Ileana about this whole situation, the fact that we pay my mom and I, about $120 a month, US dollars, for just cable, internet. We canceled the cable because it was so expensive, and we don't even watch it anymore. $120 a month. How many families in New York are probably paying the same amount? And I think of these salaries that these people are getting paid, and well, why didn't you take some of that money and put it into infrastructure, planning for backup situations when something like this happens? I mean, all these things are, ever since I started break diving, Ileana and I were talking about, I recognize that there's no excuse for compensating everybody on staff with these massive salaries when no one picks up the phone when you call them. The customer service is horrible. Everybody on Twitter is saying, how can you not answer the phone? How can you not even tell us when it's going to be fixed? Honestly, I would appreciate if they just said, hey, it's going to be out for the next 2 months. We recommend you go to a hotel or go to the library or go to your friend's house. I mean, every day we're thinking, because it's the United States, oh, it's going to be fixed in an hour. It's going to be fixed in an hour, and it's just day after day. I'm honestly starting to, like I said, my plan this week is to start figuring out how can I do everything from just my phone. And Chioma's in Nigeria. She doesn't even have a laptop. She does everything from her phone. She's one of our team members here. And I realize now how amazing it is that she's able to be a part of our volunteer staff just from a cell phone. Because it's been a tough week for me. Oh my gosh. In answer to your question, Marilyn, sorry, I forgot your name for a quick moment, was a covered call. It's basically you, I don't want to get too much into it because it'll take too long. I could talk on this for an hour. You're basically selling an option. There are things called options, and it's the same thing in the screenwriting world. Sometimes if you like somebody's screenplay, I'm a producer, let's say, and Bobby writes the screenplay, or Ruth. Is Ruth on the call, by the way? Did she end up joining us? Could somebody write to her in the chat room or private message and see if you guys can help her join the meeting if she was unable to join us? If I'm a producer and I wanted to buy, I love this screenplay that Ruth wrote. It's an amazing thing. It's like Lord of the Rings. It's fantastic. But I don't know if I'm going to have the money to actually produce it this year because of the virus. But I really like it, and I don't want anybody else to produce it until I know for sure whether I'm going to have the money maybe next year and the virus situation is better in a year. So instead of paying the $100,000 that she wants for her script, I'll say, hey, look, I'm not going to buy it, but I'm going to buy an option for 1 year. So I'll give you $1,000 right now. And in return, you agree not to sell it for a year. And at any time during this year, I can buy it from you for $100,000. So you end up with ultimately pay $101,000 for the screenplay if I decide to buy it. But for $1,000, I have the right, but not the obligation to buy it at that price, $100,000 for the next year. And then even if Ruth suddenly in the next year becomes a superstar screenwriter, and now all of her screenplays are selling for $3 million each, before the end of this year, I could exercise the option and say, yeah, that's great. I know you get $3 million per screenplay now, but I have this option that we agreed to, and I'm gonna exercise it now. She has to sell it to me for $100,000. And when you sell covered calls, I am Ruth. I am the person with the screenplay selling other people the option, in this case, to buy my stock. And they pay me money every week for that right to buy it at a particular price. The way it works with covered calls, though, is it sounds crazy, and most people don't believe it. there's almost zero risk that you will ever lose money.
We need to talk about that, Monroe, later, because I just joined E-Trade a couple of weeks ago.
All right, well, my advice is join Robinhood instead, because on Robinhood, it's commission-free trades. On E-Trade, you have to pay like $2, $3, $5 every time you buy or sell a stock, every time you buy or sell an option. On Robinhood, you pay no commission. And that's one of the big reasons why I'm finally able to get into this options trading, because I don't have
Robinhood.com?
It's a website and an app. And I'm going to do our YouTube video for break diving, probably about covered calls, or a class probably in the next month. If everything that I'm doing is accurate, and if I can make consistent money over the next 3 weeks in a row, and I'm almost 99% sure that it's going to work exactly as it did this week, it's mind-blowing. I'm reading a book on covered calls right now, and it said if you talk to most of your friends and most people in the stock market, 9 out of 10 will have never heard of covered calls. Of those who have heard of them, 9 out of 10 have never done them. And so, and yet, once you understand it, you think, oh my gosh, how is this even possible? That it's how can you make money every week with almost no risk?
That's exciting.
It's what, and as opposed to if you sell a naked call, that is horrible.
As opposed to a
5 million% risk. There's a naked call and a covered call.
Okay, so naked and covered, I get it.
And you stay away from naked calls and naked men and women running through the streets. All three of them are bad news. So anyway, in summary, that's my plan for this week, is to continue my research and experimentation with covered calls. Any of you who are watching on YouTube who find this fascinating, I post regularly on the breakdiving community about my progress with this. So if you want to read more about it, I actually made my last 3 or 4 posts were about covered calls. Marilyn, go and check it out. Just click on either the tag for stock market, or click on my profile and you'll see all of my posts there and you can read more about it. So in summary, stock market, covered calls this week, learning to live like I'm in a developing country. It's not an insult to anybody. It's just, wow, okay, this is what a lot of people in the world have to deal with. And I'm actually glad it happened, because it's going to show me how most of our members in some of these developing countries are living. And it's important for us as coders to think, okay, wow, we need to code our site, assuming that some people don't even have high speed at all. And it's a wake-up call to realize it's really difficult. And we need to make the mobile app even better, the mobile site. Anyway, and continue to do lots of coding study. Brayton, what's your plan for this week? 3 things you're going to do to improve your life.
Well, I got a lot of things that I need to do. Actually, the problem is time. I've been holding off my studies for a while because I have very little time to study. When I get home, I'm very tired and sleepy. But I will try to wake up early, at least an hour earlier than I usually do, and do some coding studying. I'm getting now in the groove of waking up to go to work. I've been staying at home for 4 months, so it's a bit difficult. But now I think I've gotten in the groove, and I can try to reschedule my time, and see how I can fit things around. But yeah, I need to do a bit more studying this week. I need to study Rails. I have been holding that off for a while now. I also need to finish off. There's a website that I need to work on that I've been putting aside for a while. I also need to work on that. And I'm also studying Tagalog, so I'm going to be doing a lot of practice with my friend and my wife. Yeah.
What was it? Magaling? Was that how you say it? Magaling.
Magagli.
Very good, right?
Magagli.
Hang on, Brighton. Why Tagalog?
Well, my wife is from the Philippines, and it's kind of embarrassing that I've been staying with her for 5 years and I still cannot speak her language. So yeah,
Okay,
I need
got
to.
Brighton, she's a woman and you're a man. You will never be able to speak her language.
Really?
Right?
What part of the Philippines is
Well,
she from?
she's from she's from Manila basically, but she grew up in what's this Zamboanga del Norte.
Did you say
Zamboanga del Norte. Do you know the
Zamboanga?
Philippines?
Yes, I do. I lived there for a
Yeah,
year. I
Zamboanga
speak
del Norte.
Tagalog. So
Oh,
you
do you?
can tell her,
Wow.
talagang maganda ka. Just tell her that.
Wow. How long did it take you to learn it?
You know, I don't know, 2 months. Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Well, see,
Mer-
Tagalog has
Wow.
infixes. Yeah. We can talk about that. Yeah, it has infixes, so you just double the first consonant twice to make it present continuous tense, and you add an in the middle of the verb to make it past tense.
Wow.
Merlin speaks I think I'm a pretty gifted linguist. I am nothing compared to Merlin. And she speaks Japanese,
Wow.
she speaks Russian, she speaks Tagalog, she speaks French. What else do you speak, Merlin?
Italian. I'm learning Danish now because I'm in Denmark.
Wow.
Yeah, she's so Brighton, you can learn Tagalog, definitely.
Yeah. Well, I now know a few basics. Hopefully, I'll be able to speak relatively, well in the next 6 months because we'll be visiting the Philippines in February next year, hopefully. So I need to be able to speak with her family in Tagalog.
Yeah, her family probably speaks good English as well. Watch some television shows or go on YouTube and find some programs that are in Tagalog because you need to hear it.
Yeah. Well,
I'm
I hear her
excited that you're
speaking
moving
all the
to.
time.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Brighton.
What was that?
Okay, nothing. I was just gonna say I think it's cool that you're moving to the Philippines because then you'll be there and so will Gay Marie, and you can start the Philippine chapter of breakdiving.
Wait, I'm not moving there permanently. I'm just visiting. Yeah, just visiting for a
you're
month.
just visiting.
Yeah.
Well, no, we're gonna have to ask you to move there because we need to have a representative. So talk to your wife, figure out how it's going to happen, and let us know when we can come visit and go surfing.
That's cool. Yeah, that's cool.
Okay.
That's awesome. That'll be nice, eh?
Well, absolutely. It'll be very great.
Great.
It'll be very great. I think what's going to be cool is we just have to keep in mind the breakdiving numbers are small now, but eventually we're going to have tens of thousands of people in all around the world, and we're going to be able to actually go to other countries and meet other breakdivers wherever you end up traveling. And there'll be a group there. I mean, just imagine that in 3 years, 4 years, and you go to Manila, and there are 400 breakdivers there, and there's a weekly breakdiving meeting in person that you can attend. You can go to the Tagalog class. You got to dream big, folks. We all got to dream big.
Yeah.
Selena, what's your plan for this week? Inspire us with your ambitions for the next three big tasks.
Okay, I'm going to read 500 pages of East of Eden because I really have to get on finishing that book because my school starts in a week, and that's summer reading. I also have to do a presentation for my internship, so then I have to finalize the slides and what I'm going to say and everything. And I'm also going to work on break diving. Yeah, I think I have to work on brokerage accounts and
Yeah.
the AWS.
Oh, actually, I'm just going to interrupt you real quick because Selena just said she needs to work on the brokerage accounts. I gave her this assignment to research brokerage accounts for corporations. That's what break diving is. I got in touch with Robinhood and I said, please tell me that you have corporate accounts, or is it only for personal, for individuals? Because I love the idea that it's commission free. And I love this whole idea with covered calls. If this continues to work as well as it could, I could increase the endowment at break diving quite considerably every week by just, Robinhood does not have service for companies. So Selena, the task is modified slightly to include, I have to put, gosh, my phone is dying because I'm on this thing. I have to plug in and see if it lasts. Yes, allow, this or that. Check to see if we can get, if there's any other commission-free trading companies out there. If there are,
Fidelity has free commission for U.S. stock trades, but I haven't looked into it that much.
So please look into that, because if we can figure out where, and also maybe not-for-profits have, maybe the brokerage houses have discounts for not-for-profits. I don't know, but we can do great stuff with our investments if this covered call thing is the holy grail magic lantern that I think it is. So, other comments on what Selena said? She's working on East of Eden, the book that she's studying for school. Has anyone else read it? I've heard about it. I have not read it. I've only read Of Mice and Men, which is also by Steinbeck, but I've not read East of Eden. No one else? So I guess, Selena, no one wants to help you. You're going to have to read the 7,000-page book yourself. One thing that I always found helpful when I was in high school, I never did this as a substitute for reading the book, but it helps tremendously. Have you heard of Cliff Notes?
Cliff Notes, yeah.
I don't know if that...
There are a lot of sites that you can use for book summaries, like SparkNotes and Cliff Notes, and there's another one, but I forgot its name.
So I would say just definitely use that. I've never found anybody who did Cliff Notes but just by themselves and ended up really understanding the book or getting a good knowledge, but it certainly helps if it's hard to understand. So if you only have a week left, Selena, I think the collective decision of this break diving meeting, all of us are telling you, when you get off this call, start reading. Right?
Yeah, but the thing is, I read the book in freshman year for fun, but it wasn't really fun to read. But I don't remember a lot of what happened.
I read them. I don't remember a thing.
I remember that it takes place in a location east of Eden.
It's in Salinas Valley.
It's in your valley, Selena?
No, it's like there's this valley in California called Salinas, but it's spelled Salinas. And Steinbeck, that was his home valley. So when he puts a lot of his books there, he puts the setting there, and it's kind of annoying.
God,
but, yeah.
I was going to make some stupid joke, but you corrected yourself because you said he puts all of his books there. I said, oh, so like, are they buried? I'm so funny. I'll laugh at my own joke. Okay. Awesome, Selena. So good. Get to work on that. I know it's boring, but it's important, and it builds up stamina so that you can read. I remember when I was in college, the longest paper that I ever did when I was a freshman in college was something like 9-10 pages. And then I transferred after a year or two, whatever, to Franklin College in Switzerland. Now it's Franklin University. It's in Lugano. And for my major in economics, international economics, I had to do a thesis. Oh, no, excuse me. Before that, I was at American University in Washington, D.C. And I had to do a research project. I interviewed all of the ambassador attachés, financial attachés at all the embassies for European nations, about 16 of them, about whether they thought it made sense or not to create the euro and the European Monetary Union. This was around 1997. It was about 2 years before the euro came to be. And I was blown away that I was able to create it ended up being about 120-page thesis my sophomore year of college. And then it was because of that I started to realize, oh my gosh, this is basically a book. If I just follow the same methodology of creating chapters, creating an outline, and maybe I could write actual books. And then 2 years later, in 1999, when I graduated from college, I came back here and I wrote my first book, The Theatrical Juggernaut. I think I was 22 years old. And it's because I forced myself to do these, like something that I didn't think was possible. It doesn't actually relate directly to what your situation is, but by reading something like that, that's super boring, that you think, oh gosh, I don't want to do it, in some ways expands your mind into thinking bigger. And then when you next see a book that's thick or you've come across a challenge, you're going to think, you know what? I did that before. I can do it again, and I'll do it even bigger. And then my PhD dissertation was 250 pages, something like that. Actually, I have it right here. This is it right here, my dissertation. Cool, right? So, anyway, let East of Eden be the jumping off point to your future successes. Marlene, how about you? What's your plan for this week that you're going to inspire us with?
Well, I don't know if it's inspiring to anybody, but things that I have to do is continue every day with Danish. I'm on a 15-day streak, so I have not missed a single day in 15 days. I'd like to continue that. And I'm studying it on my own. I don't take any classes or anything at the moment. They're super, super, super expensive here to take the classes. And I have to wait till I'm officially a resident in order to take free classes. However, that might not be for several months, and I don't want to waste 6 months with not studying Danish. And I plan to take the test in January for level 1.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah. And
that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Wait, Selena, what word does she keep saying that's driving me crazy? Do you know?
I mean, it doesn't drive me crazy, but it drives you crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, you got it, Marlene. At Great Diving, we inspire everyone to become a great public speaker, as you know. And so we try to always remind people when they are saying filler words like you know, or like. And it's just something everyone needs to be aware of. Selena's getting better. I think she said no ums when she gave her presentation. So, Marlene, try to continue and no ums.
All right. How about
No, no
French
French
version of
No.
D'accord.
And no filler words in Danish either.
I have don't know of any yet.
Good. Stop there. Don't try to learn them.
I wonder what they say. So that's.
So what are the other two things you're going to work on this week?
The other thing is, well, we asked a carpenter to come over and look at the space to build an industry quality sound recording studio for my voiceover business, because my tour travel business is on hold at the moment due to COVID-19. So I'm going back to doing voiceovers. I've got the microphones, I've got the courses, I've got the training, and I'm still doing that ongoing. I have a space to put the studio in, but we don't have the materials, so we need to make it soundproof. So we're looking to buy, what is it called? It's some sort of mass-loaded vinyl and acoustic blankets, soundproofing and sound treatment to get the studio set up upstairs. I've got everything else. That's the only thing that's lacking.
You may want to get in touch with Art Brown. He's on the community. Send him a message, because he just posted recently. He just scored 2 apparently big novels as doing the voiceovers. And
I can't do anything until I get my studio up. I've got people inviting me to audition for several things, and I'm unable to give them anything because I don't have sound quality professional recording studio.
All right. Well, when you get that set up, get in touch with Art. Maybe he'll have some other leads for you on additional gigs. So, Marlene used to be the voice of a cartoon in Japan, I think. Is that right, Marlene?
Yes, I did several voices for various cartoons and television shows, which were dubbed into French and English for Japan Airlines. So if you were riding Japan Airlines, you could choose whether to watch it in Japanese, French, or English. So the third thing, let me see. I would like to ride the bicycle 3 times this week. I rode it twice last week, so this time will be 3 times. I'll do it Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
You've inspired me. As soon as I get off this call, I'm going to go out and go for a bike ride myself, because it's good exercise.
It is.
Does anyone else here ride a bicycle? Deafening silence.
I used to ride a bicycle to work when I was in Kuwait sometimes.
What does I used to and Kuwait? It should be, I have a bicycle now and I use it and it's great fun and exercise. Now's the time, Actually, now's not the time, because if you don't have a bike, apparently the prices of bikes have skyrocketed because no public transportation is available. You can't go, people don't want to go in the subways. People don't want to take taxis. People don't want to take buses. So everyone's buying bikes. My next door neighbor said that she, for her daughter, had to pay something like a 200% inflated price because, supply and demand. So very, very interesting.
Bicycles are getting stolen.
Anyway.
So.
Yeah, you got to be careful. Lock up your bike. That's the other advice. Hey, in Denmark, which city are you? Are you near a big city, or?
I'm on the island called Fyn. I'm on Fyn Island. So Fyn Island is between Sjælland and Jutland.
Sjælland and Jutland. What's funny? Those sound kind of like Irish or Scottish names, don't they? Sjælland and.
Well, they call it Jutland, but yeah.
Jutland. So, are there a lot of bikes? I think isn't Denmark?
Denmark is a big bicycle riding country. We have bicycle lanes everywhere. Even here in this little farm town in the middle of nowhere, there are bicycle lanes.
Wow.
They're taken very seriously.
Hey, will you take a picture? Will you have your husband take a picture of you on your bike today and post it in the community?
Sure. I don't know if I can post it. I don't know how to post photos.
All you do is... I'm going to create a whole bunch of YouTube videos to help people with all these basic functions. We'll help you. And Ruth, are you there?
Yes.
Hey, Ruth. What country are you in?
Nigeria.
Ah, you're also in Nigeria. Wonderful. So why don't you tell us 3 things you're going to do this week that are going to improve your life.
Okay. Like I said on the chat, I'm going to try to write this short story. And if possible, I'm writing it for this competition. Yeah. So this week I'm going to try to work on the character that I want to use for the plot of my story. I'm going to develop the character more and better than I have done already, and try to see if the title that I've chosen for the story, if it can fit the story I have in mind. Yeah. And then
Well,
again, I'll also
wait. Before you go on, let's talk about your short story a little bit. You said you're writing this for a short story competition.
yes.
What happens if you win?
Okay, if I win, they will help me to publish the story in an anthology.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Well, just so you know, we have our blog, as you know, the Break Diving blog, and we would love to take a look at your short story when it's done, and potentially we can publish it on our blog if for whatever reason you don't win the competition. So no matter what, we're going to try to help you get it published, okay?
Okay, thank you.
No, of course, of course. So what are the next 2 things?
Okay.
No.
I'm engaged.
Remember not to say
Okay, okay.
You have to be
Okay, sorry
confident
about
public speakers.
Okay. Sorry about that. I'm engaged in a computer training lesson. Yes. So I'm going to try to learn more this week on how to handle my own projects using the computer, because I'm still learning when it comes to being a computer literate. So yeah, I'm going to try to finish up the package I'm learning this week so that I can also help myself and use the computer to
That sounds wonderful. That sounds like a good target, not only for the week, but every week. The more we can
type
learn
my
about
works and
computers,
even the
the easier
stories.
life becomes.
Sorry, sir?
I'm just agreeing with you that I think sounds like a great second target for the week. What about your third one?
Okay. The third one, I'm just going to try to learn to be a better.
Be a what? Be a better? Did you guys hear what she said?
I think we
didn't
lost
hear
harder.
that.
Ruth, are you still there?
Yes, I'm here.
What did you say, the last thing, the third thing you're going to do this week?
I said I'll try to work on my confidence, try to work on myself.
That sounds absolutely wonderful, Ruth. I think that's something that
so that I
all
can
of
be more
us can do.
confident, try through. You said?
Yeah, we heard you. I heard you. I think that sounds wonderful. We all need to improve our confidence.
Okay.
When you guys hear me talk, there's 2 things that'll improve your confidence. Speak louder and don't use the only thing you know. And smile. Hey, what's going on, everybody? But I'm sure all of you have beautiful smiles. And when you're talking to others, even if you don't feel confident, if you can project the idea of confidence, people will still follow you anyway. And everyone on the breakdiving team, on the staff, they know that I'm always suffering sometimes from being discouraged or some anxiety or this, but I'm able to put on a good face sometimes and keep going forward. And the team hasn't abandoned me yet. And so there's nothing wrong with being scared. But you can, I think, I always came up with this. I thought I came up with this, but then I saw other people came up with it as well. But the idea of courage, to me, it's not acting without fear. It's acting despite your fear. And
Yes.
so confidence doesn't mean that you're not scared. Confidence doesn't mean that you know everything about what's going on. For example, this thing with the covered calls that I'm talking about. I am confident and courageous by doing it. It doesn't mean I'm not scared. It doesn't mean I'm not nervous a little bit. It doesn't mean I'm not hesitant in times about it. So, but you can still do it. So with your confidence, Ruth, I applaud you again for, I think this is the second meeting that you've joined. And we did a survey just recently. Only about 27% of our members has joined a live meeting like this. And we asked a bunch of people, a lot of them said they're scared or they don't feel confident in their English level to participate. Or so the fact that you're here, some people are just shy. I think you're doing great with your confidence, and we have to tell us next week how things went. And here's one last story that I did to build up my confidence and courage. I used to be the shyest person ever, and New York City has lots of beautiful women walking around all the time, and I would always walk by them, and I'd just go, "Oh gosh, I wish." Oh, and then I would smile. All I could do was smile. I was comfortable, and sometimes they would smile back, and I would keep on walking. And at first, I was like, "Oh my gosh!" I just said, "Like." At first, I was thinking to myself, "Wow, that's really great. They smiled back. They smiled back." But then I thought, "But who cares? They're gone. I didn't even talk to these people." So then I finally decided, I think this was about 2 years after I graduated college, maybe I was 23, 24. I said, I'm going to keep smiling, and if somebody smiles back, I'm going to stop and start walking with that person and talk to that person, that girl, for the next block. And that was one of the scariest things I'd ever done in my life. And the first time I did it, it worked. She smiled, and then I just turned around and walked back to her. "Hey, I saw you smile to me." She goes, "Okay, yeah." I said, "Hey, can I walk with you for a block?" And she said, "I guess so." Anyway, we just started talking, this and that. At the end of the block, I said, "Hey, it's a pleasure chatting with you. Have a great day." She laughed, and I went. And so I started doing that for a couple of months until I built up my confidence more. I'm thinking, what could I do that's even scarier? And then I said, okay, when I do this, then you're going to ask the girl out. And so then I started doing and saying, "Hey, this is absolutely crazy. Can I have your phone number? I'd love to see you again." I'd say 9 times out of 10, the answer was no. But unbelievably, every once in a while, I got a girl's phone number. And I was petrified every single time. And if I'm in the city, I don't know if I'll ever go in New York City again because it's apparently filled with the virus. But if I ever do get in there again and I do it again, it's still scary, but I've learned that's what confidence is. That's what courage is. You know it's going to scare you out of your mind. You know it's going to be really, really awkward, but you think about the potential results as more important than your feelings. And so I think, Ruth, when you're applying confidence and courage this week, think about, what do I want to do? What would I do if I had no fear, if I knew I was going to succeed? And then guess what? Go do it. Because you're never going to get over the fear. It's scary for me to do these calls too and lead these. Even though I've been doing public speaking for years, I still get a little butterfly sometimes, a little bit of excitement, a little bit of, oh my gosh, I hope people are going to think this is a good event. I hope people show up. I hope people find it helpful. You'll never get rid of the fear. So don't ever think, I'll do it when I'm not scared. You're never going to not be scared. You need to get over it and do it anyway, because you want that result. You see yourself a year from now with more money, more success, a better job, whatever it is, a finished novel. That's what has to propel you, not the fear, because that fear is going to be there forever. Anyway, just wanted to share that with you, and I hope that's helpful. Chioma, are you there? I think Ruth got disconnected during my monologue.
Yes, she got disconnected. Yeah.
That's hilarious. Okay, well, I hope Ruth can find it on YouTube afterwards. And any of you watching, and the rest of you here, I hope that was beneficial. Shioma, can you tell us what are the 3 things you're going to do this week?
For me, number 1 would be to focus on Spanish, because I really admire the fact that Merlin is completing a 15-day streak. So, but I'm still on 7 days, and sadly, I've not been able to complete. But I'm so determined to complete my 7-day streak on Spanish. The second is learning shoes. I started learning how to make shoes, and it's going really well. Never easy to be a beginner. So, like you said, the fear is there, but I'm going to strive to conquer my fear by not shying away what I'm supposed to do. And the third would be to learn coding.
Very good.
Yeah.
What can you do this week that pushes you even harder with Spanish?
I completed a 3-day streak, so I learned a little bit about Spanish, more about Spanish.
What are you using to study? Duolingo?
Duolingo.
So Merlin will agree with me here. Duolingo is good, it's helpful, but you're not going to learn a foreign language by just doing Duolingo. You really need to find other resources and find something else that you're using as well. A YouTube series, something where you can hear them speaking in real time. Find another, who was it? Gay Marie posted a app where it's a improved Spanish vocabulary game. Duolingo is great, but I promise you, no one is becoming conversationally confident in any language just by using Duolingo. Merlin, would you agree with me?
Yes, I would totally agree with that. You do need various sources. So if you're doing Duolingo, you can add other things as well, aside from Duolingo.
Yeah, I don't want to criticize
There's one
Duolingo,
called
but
UTalk as well. There's UTalk, Duolingo. I have not tried Babbel. Rosetta Stone.
Babbel is okay. The best one I think is Busuu, but I think you have to pay for it. I got it free because I was part of a research study, and so they gave me a lifetime subscription. But that's honestly, I think, one of the best. I'm doing Japanese right now.
Yeah, Busuu is good.
Oh,
for
it's
Japanese too.
Yeah, Busuu is very good. Anyway, Choma, it doesn't matter which ones you use, but if you really want to learn a language, you have to use at least 3 or 4 resources at the exact same time.
Yes.
And so try to put something like that together. And how about with your job? Have you started your new job making shoes?
The job. Like I'm learning.
So you're learning right now. Okay. Well, keep us posted on this, Chioma, and we want to see lots of photos in the community of the beautiful shoes you make. And soon, people are not going to be buying Donna Karen shoes; they're going to be buying Chioma Abani shoes.
What kind of shoes are you making?
Yeah.
Or learning to make?
Females and male shoes.
I would love to try some of your shoes.
So Chioma, you can get in touch with Merlin and maybe sell her a pair of your custom Nigerian shoes, and Merlin can be when she's riding her bicycle around Denmark, everyone will be thinking, oh my God, where did she get those shoes? They're amazing.
Huh?
So, and finally, Bhavya, tell us what your plan is for the week. No problem, Ruth. I know we're all having network issues. It's a crazy world we're all living in these days. Maybe in a month there's going to be an electromagnetic pulse, and everyone's computers and electronics will go back 100 years, and we will have to just have brake diving via letters in the mail. So it's possible. We need to actually, we need to start planning. I honestly keep thinking about that before you go, Bhavya, before your turn, Bhavya. We rely so much on the internet.
Yeah.
So much. And if all of a sudden there were an electromagnetic pulse, I don't know if you know what that is. It's an EMP. If they blow an EMP bomb over New York City, all the electronics will be fried in the whole city, and basically internet would be down, computers would die, any smart devices would die and gone. Hard drives would lose all their information. That's kind of how I feel in just in this week where I haven't had internet, even though I kind of have it through my phone. But I feel like an arm and a leg have been cut off. And if there were an actual EMP, think about how many countries would just go out of business because it's all based online. Look at brake diving. Our entire hub is based on this community. I don't even think we have it downloaded, our member list, on a piece of paper. It's all backed up through database backups. Well, or it's on through all these other cloud services. What if all of them just disappeared like this?
Wow. I heard a rumor that the entire world was going to go dark for 3 days. No internet, no phone, no blah, blah, blah for 3 days. It's a rumor. It's probably not true, but imagine what would that be like.
It might be a rumor, but the more interconnected the world becomes, and you guys have seen what's happening now with China and the USA with WeChat and Facebook and everybody banning it and all these, we all have to be very careful about the internet now. As individuals, you should look at every single person. The only way that you have the contact information is through electronic devices. And I'm going to slowly start to download and write down into a regular address book people's names, snail mail addresses, other ways to contact them. Can you give me the name of one of your, maybe your best friend or your mother, so in case I can't reach you, I can get. If an EMP does happen, or something like this does happen 3 days without the internet, it's going to be chaos. And same thing with all of the money. Our entire money system is. How many of you have a bank account? Do you see the money? No, it's online. And so I've started in the last 6-7 months buying gold. And it's not a lot because it's expensive. Every like 3 months, I'll buy $150 worth of gold, and they send it to me. And actually, I'll show you some of it. You want to see a piece of my gold here? It's pretty cool. All right, I'm gonna bring it out. I'll show you my gold. So here's a bar of gold that I have.
Ooh.
It's cool, right?
Yeah.
And believe it or not, this is about $150.
How much is, what
Right
is
here.
the weight?
How many ounces?
So I think
What is the weight?
this is 2.5 grams. So actually, this is more. I thought this was a 1 gram bar. This is 2.5 grams. So this might be about $250 worth. And I don't have a lot here, so I normally wouldn't just pull it out of my drawer, and now people know that I have it here. I just have 1 or 2 of them because they're expensive, and eventually I'm going to put them in a safe deposit box. But I'm just freaked out with the whole state of the world. Go ahead, Brayton.
I said, what's your address?
Yeah.
What's your home address?
Find it on the internet, probably.
I know where you live. No.
All I can say is this house is also protected with a 9mm
You have the
Glock.
dog and the dog and the dog.
We have a dog. I have a 9mm Glock pistol that's loaded right now, and we have Ring security. And the cops here in our town are respected and responsive, and so I recommend nobody come and check it out. But honestly, everybody should be getting. I think everybody should be getting some of their stuff out of the banks, because that's just frightening that we're just assuming that there's money in the bank because it says it on a computer screen. And if an EMP happens, goodbye. Anyway, last but not least, can't wait to hear about your inspiring, sorry, I have something in my mouth, piece of hair. Oh boy. What's your plan, Bobby?
Yeah, my plan for the week, first thing, continue improving on communication, English, and even Hindi, yes. And second one is coding study. It's been a long time and like missing CSS. I did a very nice course, actually. It's really good one. It was really good one, and I didn't practice. I had to get back to that practice. And the third one, continue practicing meditation, which I do on and off. Whenever I do, I feel very refreshed and good. So I have to continue that.
Maybe you can lead us on a meditation event one day.
One day, yes, I would like to.
That would be good.
Mm-hmm.
And what are you doing to improve your English?
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I would to write, especially writing. One thing is whenever I'm speaking with my kids, or I would be more consciously observing what I'm saying. And second thing is I've started writing every day for 10 minutes. And third thing, like I read every day, like I make sure that I read one of the grammar sentences, like one concept every day about English grammar, yeah.
Well, if you're writing 10 minutes a day, why don't you post any of that in the community so that we can correct it?
I have to do that one, yes.
There's no point in writing if someone's not correcting it. Because if you're writing and learning bad grammar, all you're doing is reinforcing bad habits. So the next time you write, or one of the ones that you wrote this in the last few days, post it so that we can correct it for you, okay?
Okay, yeah.
Okay. Beautiful. Well, folks, great to have this wonderful meeting with each of you. I'm happy that, yes, anyone who wants to say something always has a right closing
a thought
word.
that I heard today that I appreciated. I heard it said, the meaning of life is to find your talent, and the purpose of life is to share it. That's all.
Ooh, say it again, Marilyn.
The meaning of life is to find your talent, and the purpose of life is to share it. So when you find your talent, you have to share it. So don't keep it under a bush.
And I think that's a wonderful sentiment to close this meeting. And for those of you watching on YouTube, that's what breakdiving is all about. Yeah. We're a group of people around the world who are helping one another find our talents. And then through meetings such as this and our YouTube channel and Twitter and our blogs, we are sharing those talents with the world and trying to inspire everybody to recognize that it doesn't matter what country you're in, your sex, your race, your religion, and whether some people think you're stupid, some people think you're too smart. Some people in the show business world, sometimes you can be too beautiful for a job. And guess what? No matter who you are, trust me, you're not unique in the fact that everybody is suffering. Everybody has self-doubt. Everybody is trying to figure out, what am I doing on this planet? Why isn't everything working out perfectly? And your neighbor who has the new car and the new house, trust me, they might look financially sound, but they've got emotional issues. Or they've got family problems. Or the person who's got the perfect family situation. They're married with kids, but struggling financially. It doesn't matter. Don't compare yourself to other people. As Merlin just said, the meaning is to find your talent, and the purpose is to share it with others. And I think that's what breakdiving is so awesome, is that it's not about me. It's not about, I want to become successful and then I'm going to go and do my thing. No, you're going to become successful by helping others become successful. And then when you are successful, you're going to help other people become successful. it's a big circle, and the more you can help one another, the more we help one another, there's another expression, a rising tide raises all ships. And that's the sentiment of breakdiving too. We're stronger together. And I think anybody watching this video or anybody on this call would agree that you feel better now after being here and talking to friends and getting some motivation. At least I would hope so. Though Selena looks like she's tired. She woke up very early today. It's 9 a.m. in California for a young woman who's on her break from school. Are you doing okay, Selena? Are you gonna nap after this, or are you gonna read East of Eden?
I really want to nap, but I have homework to do.
Well, if you take a nap, make sure it's only a 15-minute cat nap. Awesome, guys. So thank you for all of you watching on YouTube. We appreciate you joining us. Please subscribe. Please share these videos with your friends. If you haven't joined Breakdiving, please come to breakdiving.io. We are the friendliest place on the internet, and we would love you to join us. And Bhavya, you can press stop record as everyone else says goodbye.
Bye, everyone. Good to see you all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ciao.
Bye.
Bye.